Hey there, welcome to a special edition of Wednesday Night Madness. I am your host, Anthony Floyo, sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. I am here alongside the phenom Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, good old MF Michael Fletcher is currently experiencing some big time technical difficulties on his end, and will not be able to participate in tonight's show. Um, he should be back with us for our next show. We're eyeing possibly Saturday night for that, so we'll keep you posted. Like I said, it's looking like Saturday night for future content. But let's not waste any more time. We got a loaded show, so we can't. Let's not waste too much more time. We're gonna try to go as rapid fire on these as we can. We got the AEW Double or Nothing pay per view. We also have NXT, and we also have AEW Dynamite. And then I'll give a quick thought on Game 4 of the Ranger Roundup. So with that being said, let's dive on in. First off, it was AEW Double or Nothing that was held this past Sunday night from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, on pay-per-view. And we had two matches on the buy-in pre-show. Deonna Purrazzo defeating Thunder Rosa in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass knocking off the Gates of Agony in 11 minutes and 45 seconds. So let's start with the main card here. AEW International Championship on the line. The champion Roderick Strong, accompanied by the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. He defended against Will Ospreay. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 40 seconds. And new AEW International Champion. It is Will Ospreay. I apologize. I've had a long day and a long night, so I apologize for that little slur there. But still, Will Ospreay is the new AEW International Champion, winning the match in 17 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'll tell you what, I mean, these two men have reputations as being incredibly gifted performers, so it almost seemed effortless for them to put on a banger. They worked brilliantly together to deliver a highly competitive performance. And this was a solid, this was a great way to start the show. This was about 4 to 4.25 stars. So not really much more to say. I'm not going to do my after match observations. We don't have that time tonight. So yes, 4 to 4.25. Great jump off here, no doubt about it. So Phenom Michael Bullock, come on in. Will Ospreay, the new AEW International Champion, as we predicted. He takes the title from Roderick Strong, 17 minutes and 40 seconds to open up Double or Nothing Sunday night.
Yeah, 4.25. Definitely a great jump off to this. And yeah, the outcome was no surprise here. Will Ospreay, the new AEW International Champion. So nothing more to say. On to the next match.
Unified Trios titles on the line, as it was the Bang Bang Gang, Jay White and the Guns, defending it. Well, actually, no. We actually had an in-ring segment. Adam Cole cuts a promo, and he gets interrupted by the returning Maxwell Jacob Friedman. MJF is back for the first time since losing the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to Samoa Joe at the end of last year as part of World's End. And he we thought, oh my goodness, are they actually getting back together? Nope. MJF low blow, they embraced, and then low blow on Adam Cole. He dropped him with a suplex, and then MJF cut a promo as only he can. Michael Bullock, nothing left to say except this guy. I mean, that promo by MJF, it's like he never left. And oh, by the way, MJF is back. You know what that means? Business has damn sure picked up in AEW.
Oh, it's definitely picked up. And let's not forget another thing, Florio. We all thought that perhaps he was going to go to WWE. Well, I guess those rumors have been put to bed. And yes, and yeah, we thought he was going to side with them, Adam Cole, but no, he low blowed him because he hasn't forgotten about that. Adam Cole was the one who cost him the AEW World Title. and back, and he's back, and it's like he never left. And you want to know why, Florio? Because he's better than you,
and you know
and
it.
you know it. It's yours.
MJF is a sight for sore eyes. AEW really needs the type of boost that I think he can provide. It's good to see him crap on the double nonsense and make it clear those days are finished. And one of these days, soon enough, we will have that grudge match. We will have MJF and Adam Cole throw down. You know that's coming. Now let's get to the battle for the AEW Unified Trios Championships. The champions, Jay White and the Guns, as part of the Bang Bang Gang, defending the titles against the Death Triangle, Pac, and the Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo, Alex Abrahantes in their corner as always. Winners of the match in 12 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the Unified Trios champions, the Bang Bang Gang. Michael Bullock, they didn't do it by themselves. They had help. Their brethren, Juice Robinson, is back. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good, especially, I mean, yeah, you already had to deal with, obviously, Jay White and the Guns. Now Juice Robinson is back. Yeah, good luck trying to deal with them. So, I'm gonna bump it down to 3 1/4 because of the interference with the returning Juice Robinson. So, yeah, and you know what? It's a good thing Michael Fletcher isn't on the show, because he would have gone after the Bang Bang Gang, especially Jay White, who he literally can't stand. And no need to go into further detail on that. So 3 1/4 stars. I was going to give it 3.5, but the interference, I think, took something away from it. So it's yours, Florio.
Agreed. 3 1/4. This match had a lot of great individual moments, but there was something off about the pace. Things evened out as the action progressed, thankfully. Jay White and Pac's rivalry took center stage, but all 6 men had standout moments. Juice Robinson showed up and tripped Pac on the top rope, and that allowed Jay White to get the pin for his team and retain the Unified Trios Championships. So not much more to say there. 3 1/4 stars for this, no question about it. Next up, it was the battle for the AEW Women's World Championship. The champion, Timeless Toni Storm, with alongside Luther and Mariah May. She defended the title against the #1 contender, Serena Deeb. Winner of the match in roughly an even 15 minutes, and still the AEW Women's World Champion. No surprise here, it is Timeless Toni Storm. Now, from the moment the bell rang, you could tell both women were trying hard to live up to the claim that Serena said, that this would be the best women's match in AEW history. That's a lofty claim for anyone to make. And like I said, from the moment the bell rang, you could tell both women were trying hard to live up to that claim. They still incorporated some comedy spots here and there, but for the most part, it was a highly competitive exchange between 2 women who pride themselves on their skill. Mariah May and Luther were at ringside, but stayed out of the action for a long time, which was good because it allowed Deeb and Storm to show everyone exactly what they can do together. Even though the professor was playing the babyface, the crowd was clearly behind Timeless Toni Storm. It did not affect how they performed, but it took the wind out of Deeb's sails during her comebacks. While this may not go down as the best women's match in AEW history, it was certainly a strong performance from both competitors. May wanted to throw in the towel for Toni Storm, but Luther stopped her. Storm escaped the hold she was in and threw the towel into the crowd. Deeb came close to winning several times before Timeless Toni hit two Storm Zeros for the pin and the win to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. So I can easily give this a solid 4 stars, and a very, very good match, to say the very least. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, outcome never in doubt. We knew Toni Storm was going to win, but boy, howdy. Serena Deeb gave her one hell of a fight. Probably the toughest challenge she's had since she won the title.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she definitely gave Toni Storm all she could handle. But at the end of the day, there was no doubt in my mind that she was going to win the title. I mean, hold on to the title. So I mean, now the question is, I mean, who's next? I mean, who's going to try to check? I mean, Florio. I mean, as I give it a 4-star rating, I got to ask you, who do you think's going to be the one to dethrone Timeless Tony Storm? Because right now she's going to hold on to that damn title as long as she wants.
I really don't know. I mean, that women's division is wide open. I mean,
some people say that they think Mariah is going to turn on her and she will be the one to dethrone her.
That's what I've heard. So
whether that actually happens or not remains to be seen.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on it. No question about it. So, but yes, a solid 4 stars indeed. Lot of universal praise on social media for that match as well, and rightfully so. Next up, we had Orange Cassidy squaring off against Trent Beretta. Orange Cassidy wins the match, 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Yeah, the latest in the drama between the former best friends, brethren. They did a good job. Actually, no. Bullock gets this one. So Michael Bullock, Orange Cassidy winning 13:55.
I mean, this match. I mean, it was a good match, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm gonna give this maybe another 3.25 stars. But if I'm gonna be quite honest with you, Florio, this match to me, and we even talked about this, should not have been on this card.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trying to poo-poo all over it. It was still a good match, but this is a match that to me that should have been more for on Dynamite or Collision. So, like I said, it was still a good match, but I'm just being brutally honest that this match had no business being on the card. Again, good match, but this is more for a Dynamite or a Collision. It's yours, Florio.
I will say this. They did a good job telling a story. This didn't just feel like a series of spots. It felt like everything they did made sense for their feud. The pace was a bit slower than expected in some places, but not in a way that hurt the match. Cassidy was able to roll over Beretta into a pinning combination to get the win after failing to beat him with his usual finishers. Beretta looked absolutely devastated after the loss. He didn't even try to get revenge. He just slowly walked away with his head down through the crowd. Solid 3.5 stars. More on this a little bit later on as we get into Dynamite. Next up, it was the 3-way battle for the FTW Championship. The champion, Chris Jericho, defending the title against both Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. Winner of the match in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. And still the FTW champion. It is the learning tree, Chris Jericho. But he had help. And it was it was someone we certainly didn't expect. The bounty hunter, Brian Keith. The difference maker in this one. And he is the reason why Chris Jericho is still the FTW champion. Predictable, but still mostly entertaining. Brian Keith joining Chris Jericho makes no sense. So I was gonna say we were gonna need an explanation, but spoiler alert, he actually did provide an explanation on Dynamite tonight. So I would give this I'll give this in excess of 3 to 3.25 stars. I could honestly say, based on the best of the bodies of work, I would say by default this was the worst fight of the night. So not really much more to say. So 3 3
it wasn't a bad match.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match at all. It's just that based on the body of work of all the other matches on the card, I felt that this one was the weakest of all the matches, even though it was fine.
Another match that had no business being on this pay-per-view.
No, it did not. Absolutely not. Again, this could have been done on a Dynamite. It could have been done on a Collision, but it is what it is. So 3 to 3.25 is my rating for this. So Michael Bullock, Chris Jericho, he's got 2 big boys watching his back now. He already has Big Bill, alias Big Cass. Now he's got Brian Keith.
Yeah, and he's going to hold on to that title as long as he wants. So 3, 3.25, and I agree. By default, this was the worst fight of the night, even though it wasn't a bad match at all. It's just that with all the other matches that we had on the card, it was just better than this one. So, and like I just said, another match that had no business being on this pay-per-view that should have been on a Dynamite or a Collision. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right, Bullock, let's get into our next match. Eliminator, and speaking of matches that didn't belong on this card, here's another one. An eliminator match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Before I get into everything about it. If this match was for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, then absolutely. But an eliminator match, again, would have been better off on a Dynamite or a Collision. Eliminator match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That means that if Konosuke Takeshita were to defeat Jon Moxley, the current IWGP champion, that would mean Konosuke Takeshita would get a future shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship down the line. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 20 seconds, Jon Moxley. So with that, Michael Bullock, no IWGP World Title shot anytime soon for Konosuke Takeshita. Moxley wins in 17:20.
What was the time of the fall?
17 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, like you said, a match that, look, like you said, if this was for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, then this definitely should have been I would say this definitely should be on the card, but because it's an eliminator match, this had no business. Another match that had no business being on the pay-per-view. It should have been on a Dynamite or a Collision, but still a damn good match. I'll give this about 3 3/4 of a star here. Like I said, Jon Moxley gets the win. No title shot for Takeshita, so nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Third singles match between these two. Moxley won the first two in 2022. So Takeshita was looking to make sure he didn't make it a hat trick. Mox came into the match with an injured arm, so Takeshita focused almost all of his offense on it to exacerbate the injury. They worked a slow and methodical pace so Moxley could sell every big move, but once he began to build some momentum, they started moving a bit quicker. The majority of this match was a dominant performance from Takeshita. He was probably responsible for 90% of the offense, but Mox still ended up getting the win. This was completely different from everything else on the show in a good way. Even though Takeshita would have benefited a lot from a win, he still came away from this looking strong. So I'll give this about 4 to 4.25 for the effort here. So no question about it. All right, next up. Barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship. The champion, the Rated R superstar, Adam Copeland, defending against the leader of House of Black, Malachi Black. Winner of the match in 20 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the TNT champion, the Rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. Wow. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. The most gruesome stipulation on the card. Adam Copeland came up through the stage surrounded by a ring of fire, just like he used to during his days as part of the Brood. They wasted no time forgoing some of the weapons that were in the cage. Both men were bleeding within minutes, but Malachi Black's wound looked worse. They eventually used a barbed wire bat to inflict even more damage upon each other. This was exactly what you would expect it to be. There was very little wrestling and lots of weapon spots and blood. If you like that kind of thing, this match overserved you. If you didn't, you had the perfect chance to get a snack and use the bathroom. While this wasn't quite there is a spot we have to address. After tying Black to a table with barbed wire, Adam Copeland climbed to the top of the cage and he dove off. He put Black through the table, but also landed on his feet instead of on top of Black. It was a painful looking impact, to say the least. While this wasn't quite as gruesome as about Swerve and Hangman in that Texas death match last year. It was still a violent and brutal affair. Brody King and Buddy Matthews showed up, but they stood next to Copeland and made it look like they were siding with him before attacking him. And then after all three men beat on him for a bit, the lights turned red and some eerie music began to play. Gangrel came up through the ring and attacked House of Black. Copeland used the barbed wire to apply a crossface. Black passed out, and Copeland successfully defended. Pure chaos from start to finish. Both men are going to need a lot of stitches after this one. You could certainly make an argument for fight of the night here if you wanted to. It's definitely up there. This is definitely right around that 4.25, teetering on 4.5 star threshold. Incredible match, but unfortunately, it did come at a price. Adam Copeland revealed in a video yesterday on social media that he suffered a fractured tibia, mainly because of that bump. And typical recovery time. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but from what I've read, typical recovery time is 4 to 6 months. And because of that, Adam Copeland can no longer defend the TNT Championship. So we wish Adam Copeland all the best. We wish him a very speedy recovery, and we will have more on that situation later on tonight. So 4.5 stars, incredible match. One of my top fights of the night for sure. And Michael Bullock, the good news is Adam Copeland won the match and retained the title. Got to reunite with Gangrel. A very awesome moment to see the original Brood back together after all these years. But unfortunately, though, it came at a price. Adam Copeland, fractured tibia, 4 to 6 month typical recovery time. And unfortunately, Adam Copeland is no longer the TNT champion, and we will address that later on.
Yeah, 4.25, 4.5. I mean, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I mean, I know the recovery time is 4 to 6 months, but here's the thing, Florio. Adam Copeland he's not young. I think he's in his 50s, I think.
Yes, he is. He is.
And the thing is, I wonder if it might take even longer because of his age.
That's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that maybe his 2024 is over.
It very well could be.
Like you said, it could be. So we'll have to wait and see. But it was so good to see Gangrel back, and yeah, basically he was spitting blood like right at the Brody King and Buddy Matthews, and yeah, he was the difference maker there. But this was definitely if you like violence, this was the kind of match for you. So 4.25. Let's move on for you.
Yes, indeed. I think we may have gone a little bit out of order there, but that's all right. All right. Just bear with me for a moment here. Okay. All right. Next up, it was the TBS Championship matchup. The champion, Willow Nightingale, accompanied by Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander, defending the title against Mercedes Moné, making her AEW in-ring debut. About damn time. Should have been a long time ago, but, it is what it is. Winner of the match in an even 18 minutes, and the new TBS champion. It is the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Okay. Surprisingly hard-hitting fight that made both women look incredibly tough, which is even more impressive because they had to follow the most violent match of the night, and Mercedes hasn't wrestled in a year. Willow had the match won with the Dr. Bomb, but Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway accidentally distracted the referee, and it allowed the CEO to hit her finisher for the win. Stokely yelled at Willow for losing, but Chris Statlander shoved him to the mat. Then Stat attacked Willow as Stoke looked on with a smile. So So this was about 4.25. This was about 4.25, 4.5. Outcome never in doubt. But then after the match was over, Chris Statlander turns her back, turns heel, attacks Willow Nightingale, and leaves side by side with and that's really all there is to say. I mean, it's unbelievable, unbelievable turn of events. So with that, like I said, this was 4.25, 4.5. But man, Bullock, I mean, as if Willow couldn't have. You want to talk about a double whammy for Willow Nightingale? I mean, it's bad enough she loses the TBS championship to Mercedes Moné. Now, her supposed bestie Chris Statlander turns her back on her, and Chris Statlander has now aligned herself with Stokely Hathaway.
Did you see that coming?
A little bit. I mean, yes and no. I'll say yes and no.
So you were a little surprised, but not too surprised.
No, because I kind of had a feeling something was going to happen at some point, and when they were walking up the ramp, that's when I was starting to get the rumblings. And
yeah, but I mean, my question to you is, do you think this is the right call? I mean, to turn her heel?
Well, I mean, they are they do need some heels, and I guess.
Well, and I think it's the right call because the thing is, Chris Statlander wasn't getting over as a babyface.
Yeah, and he got Stokely as a mouthpiece, perfect mouthpiece. He's a heat magnet.
Yeah, and Stokely Hathaway is more of a heel manager, so
exactly.
And to have a baby face with a heel manager doesn't make any sense. So,
exactly.
So you had to turn Chris Statlander heel. So I think this is the right call. And plus, like I said, she wasn't getting over as a baby face. They needed to do something to change her character. And I think her as a heel will do great, especially with Stokely Hathaway. So 4.25. Like you said, the outcome was never in doubt. We knew Mercedes Moné was going to be the new champion, and yeah, this was a really good match. But I'm interested to see how Willow Nightingale responds to what happened. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Okay. We move on now to the this was the first match, the first match of the big triple main event. We move on to the second, and you would think, considering what was at stake, you would think this would be the main event, but no, it was not the main event. AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion Swerve Strickland defending the title against Christian Cage, accompanied by all members of the Patriarchy, Mother Wayne, Nick Wayne, and Kill Switch. Prince Nana made his return. Of course, Prince Nana in Swerve Strickland's corner. Winner of the match in 24 minutes and 50 seconds, and still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland. Michael Bullock, whose house is it still?
It's Swerve's house, baby.
All yours.
Yeah. I mean, this was a really good match here. The outcome was never in doubt. I'll give it 4.5 stars. I mean, you know what? Actually, I'll actually bump it a little bit down to 4.25 because there was obviously some interference from the Patriarchy. But then again, what else would you expect from these hypocrites? I would say something else, but not going to even bother. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 4.25 stars. They took a different approach than a lot of the matches we saw on this show. They took their time and spent a lot of time taunting and sizing each other up instead of going from 0 to 60 right away. Swerve was his usual impressive self, but this match was a reminder that even at 50 years old, Christian Cage is still capable of putting on fantastic performances. This may have gone a bit longer than needed, but everything we saw was executed well. After several false finishes, Strickland hit the swerve stomp, followed by the house call for the win and the successful defense of the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. We'll be hearing a lot more from Swerve Strickland later on. And then we move on to the match that ended up being the main event of Double or Nothing, as it was Anarchy in the Arena. The Elite, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada, and the Scapegoat, Jack Perry, squaring off against Team AEW, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler of FTR. Winners of the match in, just hold on one second. I gotta gotta go off another set of notes here. Just give me 1 second here as I pull up the time of the fall for our main event here. Just bear with me for one moment. Okay, and it was in 29 minutes and 55 seconds. It was the Elite. The Elite win the match. Jack Perry pinning Bryan Danielson. Fight of the night here. 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. I mean, absolute insanity. I mean, what else is there to say? They had music during this, including the final countdown by Europe. Oh man, that got something. And then the crowd chanted, "We want music." And that song played for a long time as all 8 men battled around the arena. AEW showed the various pairs in a 4-way split screen at different times so we could follow all of the mayhem. Crowd was singing and cheering the whole time. After the song stopped, the crowd chanted, "We want music." It was hard to follow the action at times until everyone made their way back to the ringside area. But that never stopped it from being entertaining. Trying to summarize everything we saw would be impossible, but at one point, Jack Perry appeared to run over Darby with a truck outside the arena. That's how crazy AEW tried to make this. As Perry was coming back, he grabbed Tony Khan and tried to drag him to the ring. Allin showed up with a flamethrower and lit Jack Perry on fire. He was quickly extinguished.
Good. That piece of shit got exactly what he deserved.
Unfortunately, he got the last laugh, Bullock. Unfortunately. He was quickly extinguished. He was quickly extinguished, but it was still a wild moment to witness. Darby Allin was tied to a cable from the rafters. Dax Harwood was hit with an exploding chair, and the Bucks used sneakers covered in tacks to kick Darby in the face as he was hung up like a piñata. Much like the TNT title bout, your level of enjoyment is going to depend on how much you like chaos and non-traditional violence in your professional wrestling. This was certainly a spectacle. Nobody can deny that. After he returned from being set ablaze, Perry hit Danielson with a running knee for the pin and the win. And the Elite pick up the wins. So, and we'll hear from them in a little bit. So, because they were all over Dynamite as well. So 4.5, 4 3/4 fight of the night for me. Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, but it kind of was expected. You remember what MF said? I mean, MF did say this was to be expected. So who knows? But don't worry. We both believe in our heart of hearts that down the road, the Elite will eventually get their comeuppance, but not at Double or Nothing. They win Anarchy in the Arena, 29:55, just north of 30 minutes.
4.5, 4 3/4. Yeah, like you said, this was crazy. I mean, it was all over the place. I mean, but Jack Perry did some things that to me were way out of line. First off, trying to run over Darby Allin with that scapegoat bus or whatever the hell it was, and then to grab Tony Khan like that. I mean, I get it, Jack Perry. I get you're so full of sour grapes with what happened with the whole CM Punk situation, but and I'm going to say it, Florio, right here, right now. And I know I'm about to say some things that shouldn't be on here, but with the way I feel about this guy, I don't care. Let me tell you something, Jack Perry. You are a no good motherfucking piece of shit. I mean, I get you're upset with what happened, but as far as I'm concerned, you're the one who started this crap. You're the one who decided to pick a fight with CM Punk. I mean, what was Tony Khan supposed to do? Like, I mean, yeah, he punished CM Punk, but did you think you were going to get off scotch-free? No. You had to be punished. And then what did you have to do? Like, oh, AEW left me high and dry, so I'm going to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling and get recognized here. And then when you come back, you decide to take it out on your boss. Someday, Jack Perry, you're going to get what's coming to you. I guarantee it. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. It's yours, Florio. I'm done with this guy.
All right, and let's try to keep any rants at minimum, okay? So
I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay.
It's been literally been eating at me. I mean, this guy is just.
I understand. I
get you're trying to make him a heel, but he does things that's just so far out of
way
bounds.
too far. Way too far.
And once we loved this guy when he was Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Now,
absolutely, not anymore.
It's like
that guy is dead.
Jungle Boy is dead. He spits in everybody's face, including you and me, Florio.
Yeah. And all the fans who loved him and believed in him like we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially a few years ago when he took Kenny Omega to the limit for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, but it is what it is. But let's see. Overall review. Michael Bullock, the only complaint really. Are you sure this was an AEW pay-per-view? I thought we were watching one of those 5 or 6 hour WrestleManias from a few years ago. It had the feel of that.
Well, Double or Nothing is kind of like their version of WrestleMania.
In a sense,
yeah. So, yeah, this is an AEW pay-per-view, but it did feel like a WrestleMania. I mean, it was still a damn good show. But
yes.
But this event went way too long. It didn't get over until 12:30 a.m.
Way too late.
That's way too long. So
they felt, it's a holiday weekend. Nobody has to go to work or school in the morning. It's okay.
I get all that. I get it.
You're lucky people didn't have to get up and go to work or school.
Yeah. You guys are lucky that most people had the day off the next day.
I did. So
because if it was any other day,
too much.
So damn good show, but it went way too long. That's my only complaint of the pay-per-view.
Slog of a show.
I think because of it being way too long, I'm only giving this 8 to 8.5. If it was like
the usual 4,
if it was the usual, I would have bumped it to 9.5.
Oh, definitely.
But because it went way too long, it's only 8.5. So it's yours, Florio.
AEW Double or Nothing 2024 delivered what might be the wildest selection of wrestling styles on one card. If you wanted a technical showdown, Serena Deeb and Toni Storm gave that to you. If you wanted blood, Adam Copeland and Malachi Black delivered. If you wanted unbridled mayhem, anarchy in the arena with the Elite versus Team AEW was for you. If you wanted to have your heart broken, seeing Chris Statlander turn on Willow Nightingale will do that. You can even see a match set on fire if you want to. Even if you hated some of what we saw on Sunday night, chances are good that you probably love something else from the show. Picking the best match on the card is nearly impossible because so many bouts worked well in different ways. But Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage and Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong are contenders for Fight of the Night. Like Bullock said and I said, the only major complaint one could levy, the runtime. If you count the pre-show, this event was just over 6 hours long. But to AEW's credit, it was an easy 6 hours because it moved along at a brisk pace. So 8.5. I 100% agree with Bullock. So with that being said, let's continue on here. NXT is next. The promise of Battleground on the horizon made last night's edition of NXT an important show. NXT champion Trick Williams and Javon Evans teamed together to battle Gallus. The heel stable claimed all the NXT champions as targets. What would Joe and Mark Coffey and Wolfgang do to continue making their statement? General Manager Ava promised to announce the next challenger to NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, with a tease that this could be a main roster figure who stepped up to the Prodigy. The NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match was filled out after 2 final qualifying matches: Michin versus Tatum Paxley and Kalani Jordan versus Ren Sinclair. Rapper Sexy Red made a unique appearance in NXT. What role would she play in the brand's chaotic environment? Ridge Holland hoped to clear up his issues with Chase U's Riley Osborne one-on-one. What would NXT deliver on the road to Battleground on June 9th at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas? Let's find out. Sexy General Manager Ava in the ring. She brought out Sexy Red, and Sexy Red announced that she was going to serve as the host of Battleground, and then unveiled the brand new NXT Women's North American Championship belt. We'll get our thoughts on that in just a moment. The first of the 2 final qualifiers, as it was Michin squaring off against Tatum Paxley, and Michin wins the match 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Michin is going to Battleground to battle for the Women's North American Championship. Some nice character moments, somewhat elevated action that was mostly forgettable. The 2 athletes did not seem to have a strong direction for their match, leading to a contest that took too long to get going. The expected winner advanced as Michin did not come down to NXT to lose, but Tatum Paxley should not be forgotten. NXT has dropped the ball with her momentum since the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. Michin will play an important role in a ladder match of less experienced competitors. She can keep things moving, and this is the best spotlight she has received since her debut. So she's basically there to be the veteran presence in the match. So I'll give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. So, and by the way, that North American Championship looks pretty similar to the men's. It's it's a white belt. Unlike the men's, which is like a brownish type belt. So that's the story. So solid 3 stars. So Michael Bullock, Michin defeating Tatum Paxley 9 minutes and 14 seconds. She's going to that ladder match. But how about that new North American Women's Championship belt? How's it look to you?
I do like it. I mean, yeah, it does look a little different, but I still like it. I mean, yeah, and as far as the match goes, I'll give it 3 stars. I mean, yeah, to me, the match was never in doubt when it comes to this. I mean, Michin was to be the right person to go to the ladder match here. So, 3 stars for me. It's yours, Florida.
All right, so let's move on here. Then we had Ridge Holland squaring off against Riley Osborne. Ridge Holland wins the match 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Ridge Holland defeats Riley Osborne 11-20.
Oh, what was the time?
11 minutes and 20 seconds.
And what are we talking about?
Ridge Holland defeating Riley Osborne.
I'll give it about 3.25 stars. I mean, yeah, the outcome was never in doubt. So, yeah, we don't know where Ridge Holland stands when it comes to Chase U. So, we'll have to wait and see with that. So, nothing more to say. It's yours.
Yeah. Let me find it here. On paper, this was not an exciting matchup. This was not that exciting a matchup. Osborne has struggled to stand out in any action, while Holland cannot seem to get the crowd behind him again. This was the most interesting match Holland has delivered since leaving the Brawling Brutes to rejoin NXT. Some basic acting and a solid dramatic backing made the action feel more urgent. Holland did the heavy lifting, but both men meshed well. The right man won as the Englishman is still too high up the card to lose to Osborne. It is hard to tell what the plan is with Osborne. Recent weeks have teased he could turn heel, but that seems like a fast move for a star who is still in his rookie year. 3.25. So with that being said, we move on to our next match, as it was the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, squaring off against Idris Anafe and Malik Blade with Brindley Reese in their corner. The Good Brothers win the match. Anderson and Gallows, they win the match 9 minutes and 5 seconds. The two teams look good together, but it may have gone too long for the complete lack of drama. Anafe and Blade never had a believable shot throughout this match. Still, the OC showed off some great in-ring psychology that will serve the team well against Frazier and Axiom. It was another big win for the tag title challengers that sets them up as a serious threat. The segment served its role well, clearly showcasing why this is the angle that the NXT tag team division needs. Another solid 3 stars. So Michael Bullock, Gallows and Anderson defeating Anafe and Blade in 9:05, 9 minutes and 5 seconds. But after the match, the tag team champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, attacking the Good Brothers. And we have another match now set for Battleground. Axiom and Frazier will defend the NXT Tag Team Championship against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is another three-star bout, and yeah, this is another outcome was never a doubt. But Anafe and Blade definitely gave them all they can handle. But in the end, the Good Brothers come through, and like you said, Frazier and Axiom attack afterwards, and now we got the Good Brothers against Nathan Frazier and Axiom for those tag team titles. So nothing more to say. It's yours.
All right. And next up, okay. We had the women's champion, Roxanne Perez. She came out, cut a promo, and was then interrupted. She called out general manager Ava, and Ava made the big announcement that at Battleground on Sunday, June 9th, Roxanne Perez will defend the NXT Women's Championship against the reigning and defending undisputed TNA Knockouts champion, the Juggernaut, Jordynne Grace.
What?
Bullock, you gotta look. Ava, whoa. How in the world? What? How about this? Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. Jordynne Grace could walk out with not 1 but 2 belts come Battleground, provided she doesn't lose the Knockouts title before then.
Man, I did not see this coming. I mean,
I didn't either.
I mean, I was expecting somebody from the roster, or maybe somebody from the main roster. But Jordynne Grace was the last one on my mind. And I don't know about you, Florio, but could this be a sign that could there be like some kind of a merger with WWE and TNA?
NXT and TNA, yes.
Or NXT and TNA.
Yeah, I sent you guys in our Talking Wrestling TXN Messenger chat something that I found on our favorite Facebook site.
If we start getting that, just imagine some of the names that could possibly come to NXT from TNA. Who could invade?
I can help you with that because I cover TNA, of course. Could we possibly see the System, the dominant stable in TNA right now, led by the World Heavyweight Champion Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers? And Brian Myers, no stranger to WWE. He was once known as Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean, if that is true, that could be a huge thing for NXT.
Or Frankie Kazarian, or another former NXT alum, Steve Macklin. Remember Steve Cutler, Forbidden Sons?
Yeah, and like I said, this could be really big, but it could
Or
even
some
be
other
big.
knockout.
It could even be big, like if Jordan Grace does walk out with both belts. And I'm going to tell you this: Roxanne Perez better not take this girl lightly.
No,
because
no.
if she does, I
She's in
think
trouble.
she may walk out with 2 titles. So
My God,
it could, but we'll have to wait and see. And we're not going to wait long to see her in action because Jordan Grace is actually going to be in action next week.
yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So
we're getting her next week.
Yeah, I mean, and let's not forget, we did see her in the Women's Royal Rumble earlier this year.
Indeed, she did, and she had a solid outing. So
yeah, and she was only the second women's TNA Knockouts champion to compete in the Women's Royal Rumble match.
2 years prior, 2022, Mickie James.
Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be something if this merger does happen. So it's yours, Florio.
Or possibly some names from NXT going to NXT or WWE going to TNA. And the latest that I have, according to Dirt Sheet Radio, the word backstage at NXT was that Jordan Grace appearing last night and at Battleground will not be the only WWE and TNA collaboration in the days ahead. The belief is that there will be some sort of NXT representation on future TNA events and programming as well. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, they know TNA. They're former TNA tag team champions. They could show up. But I mean, like Moose, the world heavyweight champion, and Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, and who knows, maybe Broken Matt Hardy, yes, or maybe Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth, as he's now known as, or knockouts, not only like Jordan Grace, but like a Tasha Steelz or a Jessica or a Rosemary or a Danny Luna or a Jody Threat, a Masha Slamovich. I mean, possibilities are endless, but the shocker of the night, no question about it, and genuinely shocking reveal. Jordan Grace appeared in the Women's Royal Rumble as a fun moment, but no one expected her to work another WWE match, at least while she is still under contract with TNA. Roxanne Perez versus Jordan Grace is a money match that no other women's bout in NXT could equal. While the result is more or less certain, both have the talent to sell the unthinkable as a possibility in the build for this one. And Jordan Grace will be in action on next Tuesday's NXT. She's going to go one-on-one with Stevie Turner. Yeah, good luck, Stevie. You're going to need it, darling. So, my goodness, what a moment. Segment of the night for sure, no doubt. Then we had another women's match, as it was Lola Vice versus Ariana Grace. Lola Vice wins the match, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. We're not going to waste any time on this. Obviously, the worst fight of the night. Vice picked up an unexpected win in an absolute squash. Right decision, so close to her match against Shayna Baszler in that underground match at Battleground. Hopefully, NXT has bigger plans for Ariana Grace soon, because she does not feel like the same star she did a couple months back. Her story with Gigi Dolan may have been dropped, and she is not lasting long against quality opponents. And by the way, Ariana Grace, the daughter of the one and only Santino Marella. And oh, by the way, Santino Marella, is the director of authority for TNA Wrestling. Wink, wink. Any coincidence there? So, yeah, he's basically the boss down there in TNA. And I gotta admit, he's done a pretty damn good job. I gotta admit it. So, all right. So that was a 1-star effort. Return match from last week. Lexis King against Dante Chen. Dante Chen wins in 1:42. Another one we're not going to waste any time on. Once again, Chen won by cheap pinfall rather than looking like a serious contender throughout the match. Luckily, the post-match attack somewhat saved this repetitive angle. King's attack showed a new angle to his character, more than just a slimy manipulator. While he is not delivering much in the ring, his promo work has steadily established him allowing a moment like this to be a possible turning point. Hopefully, Chen will be allowed to have a full, engaging match in a final battle of these new rivals. His entrance at least helps him stand out. But this was a dud. Worst fight of the night here. And then a lot of backstage stuff, a lot of vignettes. And then we had the next match in the final qualifying match for that North American Women's Championship ladder match at Battleground. Ren Sinclair versus Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan wins the match, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Two talented women barely got enough time to warm up before this was over. There were a few hints of what they could do together, but this felt even shorter than the 3-minute runtime. The right woman won. Jordan has found herself on the verge of a breakout moment for months, and she is going to be the linchpin of what will be a chaotic ladder match. With the field set, Jordan is the closest to a dark horse contender for the win, while Sol Ruca and Fallon Henley would be the clearest betting favorites. So, Bullock, we're not going to really talk about the match because the match was about 1.5. But we have our field. We got Sol Ruca. We got Lash Legend. We got Fallon Henley. Let's see. We have Jada Parker. We have Michin. And now Kalani Jordan. There's your field. There's your 6 for that North American Championship ladder match at Battlegrounds. So one of those 6 women will make history and become the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. So we'll get into that as part of our content next week. All right. So with that being said, that was 1.5, and now we get into the main event of the evening, as it was the NXT champion Trick Williams teaming up with Javon Evans. They had Sexy Red in their corner, squaring off against the Gallus boys, the Coffey brothers, Joe and Mark Coffey. Winners of the match, 8 minutes and 36 seconds. It was Trick Williams and Javon Evans. Predictable outcome, yes, but Lash Legend came out. She attempted to confront Trick Williams about the attacks. Lights went out, and when the lights came back up, all ego. Ethan Page, another surprise. Ethan Page, formerly of AEW, well, also of TNA. He started in TNA, then went to AEW, and now, and he revealed that he was the one who took out Noam Dar and Oro Mensah. And wow. So Bullock, 8 minutes and 36 seconds for the match. So match, predictable outcome, but we didn't expect to see Jordan Grace earlier in the show. We damn sure didn't expect to see all ego in the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Yeah, I don't think any of us could have predicted that. And what is this? Another AEW star leaving for WWE?
Is that an accident? Hell no, it's not.
Yeah, first it was Cody Rhodes. Then it was Jade Cargill.
Both are champions, oh, by the way.
And then now all ego Ethan Page. I'm telling you, I think the 3 of them smell something when it came to AEW. They could see that things aren't going well for them, and they got out while they had their pride and dignity. And look what's happened. Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion. Jade Cargill is the women's tag team champion. Could it be possible that maybe all ego Ethan Page could be the NXT champion?
That would be something.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, Tony Khan's going to probably be like, man, I should have made them, well, Jade Cargill was the TBS champion.
Yep.
But Cody Rhodes and Ethan Page were never the company's respective champions. Oh, wait a minute. Cody Rhodes did win the TNT title.
Cody Rhodes was a former multi-time TNT champion, yes. And
But the thing is, the 3 of them never held their company's respective world titles.
And Cody's now the face of WWE. Go figure.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see what happens with this. But man, all ego Ethan Page in NXT. Whew.
Yep.
So I'll give this 2.5 to 3 for the effort for the main event. So it's yours, Florio.
2.5, 2 3/4 for the main event. It is a surprisingly rare sight for the Coffey brothers to team together, as Mark and Wolfgang have become the more established duo. Unfortunately, the match never really amounted to much in terms of action. Sexy Red at ringside was more of a character in the action than Mark was allowed to be. Gallus looked like chumps at the wrong time. However, did any of it matter when NXT had an absolutely monumental surprise left in store to end the night? In a hot wrestling market, Ethan Page took a big chance and was immediately treated like a main event star in his first night in NXT. Hopefully, that is only the beginning of For All Ego, who may be the best WWE signing of 2024 so far. He instantly freshens up what looked like a stale men's main event scene and becomes the newest opponent for Trick Williams in the NXT Championship. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Look, I got to give this somewhere between, I would say maybe 7.5 out of 10, because we did have some good matches. We only had like maybe 2 or 3 bad matches. Usually we get a lot of them, but we only had like 2 or 3 bad ones. Well, 2 legitimately bad ones, and one that could have been better, but we still had a good 3 or 4 quality matches, plus those 2 big bombs with Jordynne Grace being announced as the next challenger for Roxanne Perez in Battleground, and then Ethan Page. With limited hype going into this match beyond the potential audience drawn in from Sexy Red's appearance, NXT delivered some of its biggest shock moments of the Shawn Michaels era. On a night when the matches were almost universally forgettable, TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace and All Ego Ethan Page delivered a 1-2 punch of surprises that may make waves for months to come. Grace's appearance is somewhat hampered by the fact that she is unlikely to stick around after Battleground, but she will make the most of her time, elevating Roxanne Perez further up the card. Page arrives just weeks after his AEW contract expired, immediately adding a main event presence to the brand if he can live up to his long-discussed, untapped potential. While the in-ring action does matter, this show delivered in a way that made it easy to forget the action. This was a statement night from NXT and a perfect hype show for Battleground. Mainly because of the surprises and a good 3 or so quality matches, somewhere in excess of 7.5 to 8 out of 10. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you got to be excited, man. I mean, this is your show. I mean, I know we were all expecting another show, but Shawn Michaels and Ava, oh boy, they pulled the rug out from under us, man. Jordynne Grace and Ethan Page, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they really did. So 7.5 to 8. I'm with you on that, and I agree with everything you just said. So that being said, let's quickly get into Dynamite.
Yes, the fallout from Double or Nothing. It was live tonight from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, or Inglewood, California, formerly the Great Western Forum, the home of the former home, the longtime home of the Los Angeles Lakers. We are fresh off the Double or Nothing pay-per-view and have 2 new champions looking to kick off their reigns tonight. Not only did Will Ospreay defeat Roderick Strong to win the International Championship, but Mercedes Moné won the TBS title by defeating Willow Nightingale. In addition to their first official show as champions, we also saw World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland take on Killswitch, and we got a casino gauntlet match to determine who will challenge Swerve for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at the next pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, 1 month from now. Let's take a look at everything that happened on Dynamite. We started it off with an in-ring segment. Mercedes Moné cutting her first promo as the new TBS champion, interrupted by of all people, Sky Blue. Okay. Sending up Mercedes' first feud as champion right away was smart. It was a relatively standard promo, nothing noteworthy other than Blue's attack. But the good news is Mercedes is clearly over with the crowd. And Tony Khan made an announcement through Tony Schiavone that we will have Mercedes Moné defending the TBS title against Sky Blue later in the show. First match of the night, World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland. It was a non-title match. He squared off against Killswitch of the Patriarchy, and the winner of the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds, it was Swerve Strickland. 3 3 1/4, I'd say, for this. I'll say this. Solid match here. As expected, Swerve wins. Not only is Killswitch not booked as a realistic threat to the champ, but he did not have the patriarchy at ringside for support. And Swerve cut off some of his opponent's hair after the match to get revenge for Killswitch, pulling out one of his dreadlocks a few weeks ago. So 3.25, nothing really overly to speak of. So Michael Bullock, easy. I'm not going to say an easy win, but an expected win for Swerve Strickland as he defeats Killswitch in let me get that time again. 11:40. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.25 on this one. I mean, it was a solid match here. I mean, yeah. Killswitch definitely gave him all he can handle, but the outcome was never a doubt. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, Bullock, keep your mic on. Next match, another IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. Well, there was another in-ring segment, a Chris Jericho segment with Big Bill and Brian Keith. Brian Keith basically explained his actions from Double or Nothing. So not really gonna waste any time on that. Jon Moxley in an eliminator match against Rocky Romero, and Jon Moxley wins the match 10 minutes and 40 seconds. So Bullock, we can scratch Rocky Romero off the future challenger list.
Yeah. Now we can scratch Rocky Romero off the list of next in line to possibly challenge Jon Moxley for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So, what was the time of the fall?
I believe I had 11:40 for that one. 10:40.
10:40. Yeah. All right. So 3.25 is my rating for this. So it's yours.
Another 3.25. Even with Moxley's limited arsenal due to his arm, this ended up being a competitive bout with a quick pace and some great sequences. Moxley scored the win, but was favoring his arm quite a bit. So not much more to get more into there. Next up was the match for the TBS Championship. Actually, then we had another in-ring segment. Don Callis had a contract in his hands. He was trying to get Orange Cassidy to join the Don Callis family. Orange Cassidy ripped up the contract, but then Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway come out, and they announced that Trent Beretta has signed with the Don Callis family, and then Trent Beretta attacked. So yes, Trent Beretta is now the newest member of the Don Callis family. Then we announced, and then we had the match for the TBS Championship. The champion, Mercedes Moné, defending the title against Sky Blue. Winner of the match, 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and still the TBS champion. It is Mercedes Moné. The match between Blue and Moné had some good moments, but you could also see the lack of chemistry at times. So this was about a 2.5-star match. But after the match was over, Stephanie Vacour, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, came out and posed on the stage. And it looks like AEW is clearly setting Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vacour to possibly battle for the TBS Championship come Forbidden Door next month. So 2.5 for this. So Bullock, no big surprise. Mercedes successfully defends in 7:40 against Sky Blue, but it looks like she might have her challenger for Forbidden Door, Stephanie Vacour, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. I don't know much about her. I wish MF was here because I'm sure MF obviously knows a lot more about this young lady, because before tonight, I had no idea who she was, and I'm sure you didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't even know either. I mean, like you said, Fletch probably knows more than you and I when it comes to this woman. So, yeah, I wish he was here to help us out with this, but obviously he's not. So it is what it is. So
yeah.
But I think this should be and I think it's gonna. I think it could happen at Forbidden Door with the. So yeah, I mean, this could be a good one. So we'll wait and see it. Like I said, don't really know much about her, so it's yours.
Indeed. So So we will definitely keep an eye out. We'll most certainly keep an eye out on that one, in the weeks to come. So let's see. 7:40. So all right. And then we had another in-ring segment. The Elite come out and they said that because of Adam Copeland's injury, that they were going to quote unquote strip Adam Copeland of the championship. And they were ready to award the title to Jack Perry, but Christopher Daniels comes out and said that Tony Khan rehired him as an interim EVP. And Daniels said that the title had to be earned. But Jack Perry would get his chance in a qualifying match to wrestle for the vacant title at Forbidden Door, and that match is going to be a ladder match. So yes, indeed. And we do have a couple of matches that were announced that are going to take place on Friday night, Friday on Rampage, and at a special start time of 6:30. And I'm trying to find out who. It's going to be Konosuke Takeshita versus Penta El Zero Miedo. Wow. And but anyways, we go into the main event of the evening, the Casino Gauntlet match. A possible 21 entrants. If all 21 entered, the match would end in sudden death. First man to score a pinfall or a submission earns the right to challenge Swerve Strickland for the World Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door. The first two entrants were Jay White and Pac. Third entrant was Mystico. Fourth entrant, the AEW International Champion, Will Ospreay. Fifth entrant, Shota Umino from New Japan. Sixth entrant, Claudio Castagnoli. The seventh entrant, Lio Rush from New Japan. Eighth entrant, Orange Cassidy. Ninth entrant, Hechicero from CMLL. And I believe I think that was it. I don't believe there were any other entrants. I think it ended after only 9 entrants. But the winner of the match in a total time of 22 minutes and 20 seconds, and the number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Will Ospreay, the international champion, wins it. Okay. This kind of bout is designed to be more chaotic as it goes, but the competitors did a good job making sure the action was easy to follow, even when there were a lot of people in the ring. We saw a lot of high-flying spots and fast-paced action, making this the most exciting fight of the night. We saw stars from CMLL and New Japan competing alongside the AEW stars to give us a bit of a preview of Forbidden Door. The show went into overtime and ended with Will Ospreay pinning Orange Cassidy to earn the title shot. This was a lot of fun and a great way to close the show. I'll give this. I mean, these matches are tricky, but I will give this. I will give this rating in it. I will rate it in excess of 4 to 4.25 stars. Call it the fight of the night. And wow, oh my goodness, Michael Bullock, can you believe this? Will Ospreay just won the international championship this past Sunday night at Double or Nothing, and now he's going to be challenging Swerve Strickland for the World Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door. Think about this. If Ospreay wins, dude, Will Ospreay could possibly be walking out of Long Island with not 1, but 2 belts. We could be talking about Will, by God, 2 belts Ospreay here. So with that, Michael Bullock, wow. Ospreay wins this gauntlet, 22 minutes and 20 seconds total time. Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door. My God, that's going to be insane. Oh my goodness, Bullock, your thoughts? Are you there?
Yeah, it is going to be insane. I mean, if that happens, I mean, Will Ospreay.
2 belts Ospreay.
I mean, Will Ospreay walking out with 2 belts.
Could happen.
It could happen, but we'll just wait and see. But what was the time of the fall?
22 minutes and 20 seconds with 9 entrants.
Yeah, I don't know where to rank it when it comes to this. I mean, I'll give this in essence 3.5 stars on this. I mean, it's hard for me to rank matches like this. I mean,
Fair enough.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, this was a surprise. I mean, especially with Ospreay just winning the AEW International title, and now he's going to be going for the world title. Whew, that's something. So, nothing more to say. It's yours.
All right. So, Bullock, let's get into the overall review here on this post Double or Nothing edition of Dynamite.
I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, there were some things I thought that definitely could have been better. So I'll give it 7.5. So it's yours.
Tonight's Dynamite had a couple of highlights, but as a whole, it felt like a lackluster show after such a great/long pay-per-view on Sunday night. It's tough to say what it was missing because it had everything you would expect. The new champions made appearances, some future bouts were set up for Forbidden Door, and we got the usual array of matches. One of the issues was a lack of unpredictability. The main event could have ended multiple ways, but the way every other match and segment ended could be seen coming from a mile away. The best thing on the show, the Casino Gauntlet match, not only because it had some entertaining moments, but because it included some New Japan and CMLL stars who are over with the AEW crowd. 7.5. Quick installment of the Ranger Roundup. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. Unfortunately, the Florida Panthers stole it. They won the game 3-2 in sudden death overtime on a power play goal by Sam Reinhart very quickly into overtime, as a matter of fact. So it started at 8:51 of the first period. Vincent Trocheck, his 8th of the playoffs on the power play from Artemi Panarin and Adam Fox. 8:51 of the first, 1-0 New York. Second period, 8:45 in. Sam Bennett, his 4th of the playoffs from Gustav Forsling and Sergei Bobrovsky tied the game at 1. And then about 3.5 minutes later at 12:16, Carter Verhaeghe, his 9th of the playoffs, power play goal. Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov on the assist, 2-1 Florida after 2. 3:28 into the third period, Alexis Lafreniere, his 7th of the playoffs. Adam Fox and Artemi Panarin with the assist tied the game at 2. Game went into overtime, and then just 1 minute and 12 seconds into overtime, Sam Reinhart, power play goal, his 8th of the playoffs. Alexander Barkov, Brandon Montour with the assists, and the Florida Panthers defeat the New York Rangers 3-2 in overtime. The series now tied at 2 games apiece. Pivotal Game 5 later tonight in Madison Square Garden on ESPN. The winner will take the 3-2 series lead back to Florida for what we now know will be a Game 6, and that will be on Saturday night on ABC. And if there is a winner-take-all Game 7, it will be back in Madison Square Garden on Monday night on ESPN. The shots were 40-23 in favor of Florida. The hits were 47-43 in favor of New York. Face-off percentage, Florida won 52.3% of the face-offs. The Rangers, 47.7%. 3 stars of the game. The number 3 star was Igor Shesterkin of the Rangers, 37 saves, a .925 save percentage. Number 2 star was Sergei Bobrovsky, 21 saves, a .913 save percentage. And the number 1 star of the game, the hero of the night, Sam Reinhart for Florida with the power play goal. And so with that, and Florida won the face-off battle 34-31. New York was 1 for 3 on the power play. Florida was 2 for 4. And block shots 28-8 in favor of New York. The takeaways 11-10 in favor of Florida. The giveaways, Rangers gave it away 12 times, Florida 17 times. So, of course, for the Florida Panthers, star of the game, I would probably have to go with Sam Bennett. He had a goal. He had 7 hits and won 2 faceoffs. Lundell with 9 faceoff wins. Barkov 5 faceoff wins. He had 3 hits and a takeaway. Okposo with 4 hits. Reinhart, the game-winning goal. He had 5 faceoff wins, 3 hits. You can definitely consider Reinhart one of the stars of the game. Rodriguez, 5 faceoff wins. And Forsling with an assist. He had 4 hits and 2 takeaways. Great performance from Forsling. Ekblad 2 hits and a takeaway. Same for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Brandon Montour, 6 hits and an assist. And Bobrovsky, 21 saves on 23 shots. For the New York Rangers, as always, Vincent Trocheck, once again, he was the star of the game for the Rangers last night. A goal, won 14 faceoffs, had 4 hits and 2 takeaways. Barclay Goodrow, 4 faceoff wins, had 3 hits and 2 takeaways. Mika Zibanejad, 9 faceoff wins. Blake Wheeler made his return to the lineup after 3.5 months, his first game since February when he was injured against Montreal. He had 4 hits and a takeaway, had a faceoff win, but unfortunately, he committed that costly penalty that ended the night for the Rangers there. Wenberg with 3 faceoff wins. Lafreniere with a goal, had 3 hits. Kreider with 3 hits. He hasn't done much of anything since that epic hat trick he had against Carolina to put them away. Trouba, 4 hits and 2 takeaways. Adam Fox, 3 hits. Igor stood on his head, but he just couldn't stand on it long enough. And and a series that started as a best of 7 went down to a best of 5, and now it is down to a best of 3 for the Prince of Wales Trophy. Game 5, pivotal Game 5 later tonight in Madison Square Garden. The winner will take the all-important 3-2 lead back to Sunrise, Florida, for what will be an elimination game for Game 6 on Saturday night. The Prince of Wales Trophy will be at Amerant Bank Arena, and as early as Saturday night, we could have an Eastern Conference champion. Who knows? So, tough loss for the Rangers. Rangers played so well in that first period, but then Florida took control in the second. Rangers took it back in the third, and then Blake Wheeler commits the boneheaded penalty that gave Florida the power play, and Florida, I'm not at all surprised, struck immediately. I had a feeling they would, and now going into Game 4, the pressure was definitely on Florida, but now the pressure is on the New York Rangers now going into Game 5 because they're back at home in Madison Square Garden. Must win for them. The last thing they need is for them to go back to Florida down 3-2 and facing elimination. And so this is it is beyond imperative that the New York Rangers not only come out and play, but also find a way to win Game 5 and take this back to Florida up 3-2 with a chance to, possibly put it away Saturday night. So regardless of what happens, the Prince of Wales Trophy will be at Amerant Bank Arena on Saturday night, but it's clear as day, must win for the Rangers. Because if they go back down to Florida 3-2, that's trouble, big trouble. So I hope they wake up. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, do you have a quick thought before we put a bow on this thing?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a costly loss for them, and like you said, they really need to. Like you said, their goalie played really well, but he just couldn't stop the shot that unfortunately lost the game for the Rangers in overtime. So, yeah, a pivotal Game 5 tonight, and yeah, whoever loses this one's going to be down 3-2 heading into Game 6 on Saturday. So that's pretty much all I got to say on it. So you can put a bow on this.
All right. So with that, with that being said, that we'll put the bow on this special edition of the Ranger Roundup, or I should say of Wednesday Night Madness. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. I don't know. It'll either be Friday or Saturday night, because of the fact that there's definitely not going to be a show tomorrow, because it would pretty much only be the Ranger Roundup anyway. So I'm just messaging MF now to see if maybe we could do it on Friday or something. Oh, MF said, I don't know for sure. Okay. So, all right. So, I just messaged MF. Yeah, we could do Saturday if we need to. So, all right. So I just wanted to check in with that on MF. So, all right, we don't know for sure, but it'll either be Friday or Saturday. It does depend on MF's situation. because, as you know, MF major technical difficulties on his end, so that's why he couldn't be on with us tonight. So either Friday or Saturday night, we will have Friday Night SmackDown, and we will have the Ranger Roundup, the pivotal Game 5, the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers, and it'll either be Friday or Saturday. We'll keep you posted as soon as we, as soon as MF, makes the determination. So we'll keep you posted either way. So it'll be one of those nights for sure. And then Monday night, we do it all again, Ridiculously Raw. And then 1 week from tonight, another edition of Wednesday Night Madness, as we will have, we'll be back to NXT in AEW Dynamite. And who knows, we could, and who knows if we'll have anything else on top of that. So, and also next week, I know we will definitely have a preview of the possibly the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals. So keep an eye out for everything, folks. That's all I'm basically going to say right now. So until either Friday or Saturday for our next show, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and of course, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days or so. And until either Friday or Saturday for our next show, you've been watching this special edition of Wednesday Night Madness right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.